Hey guys, in this video we're going to talk about creating fans using video online. So I'm going to tell you the difference between fans and subscribers. That's really the big thing here. It's a really big deal. Nothing like this has really been talked about online yet. Everybody talks about building a very large mailing list of email subscribers. Well, that is good. But if you were to build a list of fans instead of just normal, typical, everyday subscribers, you'd have a much higher open rate, a much better click through rate for your emails. You'd have a lot more comments on your blog posts and people actually responding to your video messages and purchasing from you in the long run. So, fans are really the people who are going to stick with you through thick and thin. They're going to listen to all the videos that you put out, any kind of emails that you send, any blog posts that you write. These are the people that are really attached to you and your business and whatever you produce. So let me just dig into a couple of examples really quick of why fans are really so important. So recently, Apple just launched their iPhone 4. And you may have remembered this. It was towards the beginning, maybe first quarter of the year in 2010. Now, look at this stat just really quick. Around 1.5 million units of these iPhone 4s were launched, or were sold, excuse me, in the very first day. Now, think about that if it was your own product. Now, we all know that more products are sold on launch day. It's a huge spike, but if you have a brand that people have really grown to like, to expect the quality, to really understand and become really attached to, you're going to get a lot more people right there on launch day waiting for you to open the doors or to release whatever product you may have. So this is exactly what's happened to Apple, and you could see it right here. 77% of the people who purchased on that first day or during this launch, this period of time right here, were actually upgrades. These are people with, probably perfect iPhone 3s, the previous version. They probably really didn't have anything wrong with them. They just wanted the most latest and greatest technology that Apple had to offer for them. They didn't want to be left out with the dual cameras on the phone, or the different, you can actually do iMovie and everything on the actual phone itself. All of these types of things you couldn't do in iPhone 3, the previous version. So they were the ones that were first in line and part of the 1.5 million that were sold that very first day. So to put it even in more perspective, it was 1.15 million people of those 1.5 million who actually purchased that first day during the launch, who actually upgraded. That made up the 77% right there. That's just amazing. I mean, it's overwhelming amount were actually fans and previous supporters of Apple who again made them rich, made Apple that much more of a profitable company. Now, here's some more examples right here that I found. So the iPad launch, that was very recent as well in 2010. 3 million were sold in the first 80 days from its launch. And once again, 74% of those already owned a Mac or some kind of Apple product. And these stats were all from TechCrunch.com. And the previous one was PCWorld.com. Kind of ironic. But yeah, these ones, it just really solidifies that having fans, having previous customers that really love your brand, love your product, and love what you create, they come back and purchase in overwhelming amounts. So for the iPad launch as well, 66% of those people actually owned an iPhone of some sort. So they had a previous Apple product. It's really amazing what happens when you get fans for some kind of product. So to sum it all up, they're irrationally passionate, and this is exactly what you want with your videos online. You want people who are going to watch everything. They're going to interact with you, and they're going to tell other people about your videos. They're going to hit the like button if you're using something like Easy Video Player, or they're going to spread it around on YouTube, with the links. They're going to Twitter it out to all their friends and all that stuff. So they're all in all, they're going to stand up for you and your brand and what you create. They're going to talk about the products you create. Talk about the videos, all of that kind of stuff. They're just extremely loyal in general. These are the ones that are going to back you if anybody's talking anything bad about you in the forums or online with other people. they're going to back you and make sure that you're getting a good word in that conversation, even if you're not there to support yourself. So, and like I said, and you can tell from these previous Apple examples, is that these are the ones who are going to be waiting for your next product before the doors even open. They're going to ask for, an early bird type notification where they can get the first say, where they can give you money before they even have the product in hand. And you see this all the time with launch products. People who have, like Frank Kern or Mike Filsaime, or even the Easy Video Player launch with Josh Bartlett. These are people who have established a brand and expectation for their products. So people line up at the door weeks beforehand, giving money for their product before they even see it. They just expect that it's going to be an awesome thing. So why would you want to use video in general for creating fans? Well, let me tell you really quick. This shows the real person, who you really are online. Now, obviously, Apple's not going to do this specifically. They're not going to show the actual creators of the product. They do show Steve Jobs, but he's usually there for other reasons. But for you online, you want to show you. You want to show you in front of the camera. You also want to do slideshow videos like this where people can hear you. It's very important that people can connect to you just like that. So, show the real you any way you can, and doing video is definitely the best part. Now, closest connections to your viewers. That's how video does it online. Writing a blog post, yeah, you can connect with people. People connect with, authors all the time, novels and different blog posts online. But think about video. If you actually have a camera on you, take for example Wine Library TV, Gary Vaynerchuk. He has a really outgoing personality. I'm not saying you have to have that to really attract fans to you and your company and your brand, but if you can keep it consistent, show your face, people know who they're listening to and know who they're really receiving information from and who creates your products, the products they purchase. So you want to build this connection, this kind of rapport with your viewers, so they really come back again for you. And not everybody is doing it. That's the beauty of you getting in right now, is not everyone is using video. And it's amazing that people really aren't doing this, because it really is easier than they think. A lot of people are intimidated, but hopefully you're not, because you can see the power that really goes into video marketing online.